Captuating hub.
Frame rate supersonic. I don't need no bloom. I don't need no flickering. I don't want no blur. You can keep your salary. I'm a frame rate junkie. What? I'm a frame rate junkie. I'm a frame rate junkie. And I like it silky.
Welcome back to KOS-Plays Classic Games. I'm your hostess, Anne Bonnie, and this is my co-host, KOS.
This is KOS.
I just said that.
This week, we extend our tour of Japan and stop by Konami.
No, this is good Konami. Before the hole ruin your hopes and dreams, heel turn.
The year is 1998. The gaming industry is booming with new hit releases such as Nintendo's Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Capcom's Resident Evil 2. Metal Gear Solid was first revealed to the public in 1996 at the Tokyo Game Show. This likely unplayable build of the game had many differing features than the release version, naturally, but some of the changes are jarring.
The video shows the antagonist of the game, minus one character likely made later in development, named Decoy Octopus. Our main character and frequent caller Snake also has a slightly different appearance than his final release version.
Things would be looking more fleshed out as the game launched on September 3rd, 1998.
Listen up. This is an extremely sensitive covert operation. You'll be one man against an entire squad of high-tech special ops. They will be armed, and they will be dangerous. If you want to survive, you gotta have brains. You have to be in peak physical condition. You have to have nerves of steel. The fate of the free world is in your hands, soldier. Failure is not an option.
Sir, aren't these tests kinda easy?
Suicide mission.
Oh.
Series creator Hideo Kojima, the father of Metal Gear, has stated that film played a huge influence on his work. He cited the 007 series as that influence.
Kojima has hit some other references to other films that also influenced his work. Take main character Snake for instance. His real name is David and he becomes best friends with a man named Hal. This is a nod to the film 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Another film that Kojima would later reference in another game was the 1981 film Escape from New York. The main character in that film being named Snake Plissken. Our friendly neighborhood Snake would use Plissken as a cover in Metal Gear Solid 2. The year is 2005. A rogue genetically enhanced special forces unit has seized control of a remote island in Alaska. The island is codenamed Shadow Moses, a nuclear weapons disposal facility.
The unit, named Foxhound, threatens to use the mech, Metal Gear Rex, to launch a nuke against the United States government if they don't receive the remains of the legendary soldier, Big Boss, and a ransom of $1 billion in 24 hours.
Retired after the events of Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake is forced out of his retirement to neutralize this threat. This begins the soldier's journey. Throughout, he is faced with many obstacles such as a cyborg ninja, revolver ocelot, and the White Mamba himself, Liquid Snake. Snake isn't alone though. He is aided throughout his mission by others over his codec and meets some allies along the way, such as Meryl and Hal Emmerich, aka Otacon.
After being tricked by Liquid Snake, posing as Master Miller, into activating the Metal Gear, Liquid tries to kill Snake.
Atop the Metal Gear, Liquid Snake would reveal the truth to Solid.
But as long as there are people, there will always be war.
But the problem is balance. Father knew what type of a balance was best.
Is that the only reason?
Isn't it reason enough for warriors such as us?
I don't want that kind of world.
Ha! You lie! So why are you here then? Why do you continue to follow your orders while your superiors betray you? Why did you come here? Well, I'll tell you then. You enjoy all the killing. That's why.
What?
Are you denying it? Haven't you already killed most of my comrades?
That was...
I watched your face when you did it. It was filled with the joy of battle.
You're wrong.
There's a killer inside you. You don't have to deny it. We were created to be that way.
Created?
Les enfants terribles. The terrible children. That's what the project was called. It started in the 1970s. Their plan was to artificially create the most powerful soldier possible. The person that they chose as the model was the man known then as the greatest living soldier in the world.
Big Boss.
But Father was wounded in combat and already in a coma when they brought him in. So they created us from his cells.
He would also reveal why the US government used him to stop Foxhound. Snake was unknowingly carrying a bioweapon in his body that causes cardiac arrest in Foxhound members. The US used this tactic in hopes of getting the Metal Gear Rex with little damage. The virus is known as Fox Die.
After an intense battle with his clone brother, Snake is victorious after a long car chase and crash, where Liquid succumbs to the effects of Fox Die. Naomi Hunter informs Snake he has an indeterminate amount of time before he falls to Fox Die himself.
Throughout the game, Liquid is obsessed with the idea that he was created from Big Boss's recessive genes, while Solid Snake was made from the dominant genes.
They weren't finished yet. They used me as a guinea pig to create a phenotype in which all of the dominant genes were expressed to create you. I got all of the recessive genes. You took everything from me before I was even born. But you and I aren't his only children.
What?
The Genome Soldiers. They too are his progeny, carrying on his genetic legacy. But they're different. They're digital. With the completion of the Human Genome Project, the mysteries of humanity were laid bare. Thanks to Father's DNA, they were able to identify more than 60 soldier genes responsible for everything from strategic thinking to the proverbial killer instinct. Those soldier genes were transplanted into the members of the next generation Special Forces. That's how they became the Genome Soldiers. That's right. The Genome Soldiers that you've been killing are our brothers with the same genes as ours.
The Genome Soldiers?
That's right. They are our brothers, created artificially through the alignment of nucleotides to mimic our father's genes. They too are the product of numerous sacrifices.
Sacrifices?
Human experiments! Natural selection. It's called the selfish gene theory.
You're telling me that your genes are ordering you to save the Genome Soldiers?
You can't fight your genes. It's fate. All living things are born for the sole purpose of passing on their parents' genes. That's why I'll follow what my genes tell me. And then I'm going to go beyond, in order to break the curse of my heritage. And to do that, first, I will kill you.
However, it is revealed that it was in fact Liquid who was made from the dominant genes. Solid Snake did not best him based on his genealogy, but his hard work and dedication as a soldier. In this, he breaks away from the oath of his genes and the US government and forges his own path.
I mean, that actually sounds very much like Big Boss. After Operation Snake Eater, he breaks away from the US government.
KOS. He proved Liquid wrong in the end. Period. Thank you. Good day, sir.
Kojima and the team considered first-person games difficult to control with the technology of the time, so they opted on a 2D style with overhead camera view. With the ability to switch to the first-person view to look around your environment, the game had a real-world vibe. The characters and mech designs were created by artist Yoji Shinakawa. Solid Snake's physique in this installment was based on Belgian actor and worst guile ever, Jean-Claude Van Damme, who was also an inspiration for Mortal Kombat's Johnny Cage.
Connecting our 3 episodes through Van Damme, terrible. The musical score of Metal Gear Solid was created by Konami's in-house musicians. The best is yet to come is my personal favorite of the game's soundtrack.
Why? Because it's in Irish?
You mean Gaelic, you noob.
Metal Gear Solid was a runaway success for Kojima, Konami, and PlayStation. IGN said of the game, Metal Gear Solid 1 came closer to perfection than any other game in PlayStation's action genre, calling it beautiful, engrossing, and innovative. Computer and video games compared it to playing a big-budget action blockbuster, only better. Next Generation Mag said, no player should miss this game, the best reason to own a PlayStation.
MGS helped popularize the stealth game genre. The idea of avoiding the fight started here and has been used by many other games since then. It also sometimes gets acclaims as a film due to its lengthy cutscenes and story.
And we can't talk about Metal Gear without talking about the boss fight.
Useless woman. Optic camouflage, huh? I hope that's not your only trick. You doubt my power? Now, I will show you why I am the most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world. No, there's no need for words, Snake. I'm Psychomantis. That's right. This is no trick. It's true power. It's useless, I told you. I can read your every thought. So, you used the other... I wasn't able to read the future. A strong man doesn't need to read the future. He makes his own. Perhaps so, but I'll read your future.
Guinness World Records awarded Metal Gear Solid with most innovative use of a video game controller for the boss fight with Psycho Mantis, a Foxhound member. In the fight, Mantis would disable the player's controller and even read the player's memory card under certain circumstances.
The game was a commercial success, making $51.8 million in 1998 alone. Kojima did not expect this. In 2014, he would say the following: I didn't think at all of how to make this game sell well, because I didn't expect it to sell. The Metal Gear Solid series would sell and evolve over the years, but the last canon release in this series, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, would release in 2015. It would attempt to connect the old Metal Gear games, Big Boss's adventures in Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker and Snake Eater to Solid Snake.
A falling out between Kojima and Konami would lead to the game ending without the final chapter being finished. Konami would try to continue the series without Kojima with the dumpster fire that was Metal Gear Survive.
When asked about Survive, Kojima had this to say: Metal Gear games are about political fiction and espionage. Where do zombies fit into that?
They don't. Okay, Konami? They don't fit. Stop. Just remake 1. Or Snake Eater.
Each person is born with their fate written into their own genetic code. It's unchangeable, immutable. But that's not all there is to life. I finally realized that. I told you before, the reason that I was interested in genes and DNA, because I wanted to know who I was, where I came from. I thought that if I analyzed my DNA, I could find out who I was, who my parents were, and I thought that if I knew that, then I'd know what path I should take in life. But I was wrong. I didn't find anything. I didn't learn anything. Just like with the genome soldiers, you can input all the genetic information, but that doesn't make them into the strongest soldiers. The most we can say about DNA is that it governs a person's potential strengths, potential destiny. You mustn't allow yourself to be chained to fate, to be ruled by your genes. Humans can choose the type of life they want to live. Snake, whether or not you're in the Fox-Die program isn't important. The important thing is that you choose life. And then live. Don't you think, Snake? Don't worry. I'm going to choose life too. Until today, I've always looked for a reason to live. But from here on, I'm going to just live.
Well folks, we've made it to the end. If you are new here to KOS-Plays classic games, leave a like, any comment.
Also, don't forget to subscribe. So, KOS, you going to ride off into the sunset now that the project obligations are done?
You know, I think I'll stick around. Maybe follow you on some of your adventures.
Well, grab a pint, lad. And you, where you watching on YouTube, don't miss what comes next. See ya, folks.